Now let's go back to the Nazis in Greece. I can't believe that we're actually talking about. Remember, that was a crazy conspiracy. Nazis were going to come. Yeah, here they are in Greece, and this is the head of the Nazi party now that it now controls 20% of parliament. Remember, Hitler had 30%, 20% of the Greek parliament, and it is only going to grow. And I want you to listen as Pat translates what this guy is saying and project in your own mind how much of this crazy talk in 4 years, if we are being taxed to death, if they continue to spend and bail out everybody, and they're not controlling our borders, they're not controlling our culture or anything else, they're not protecting us at all, see how much you think this guy would actually resonate with a few people in this country. How spooky is this? Listen to him.
This is after the Nazi Party has come in for the press conference, and they're kind of arguing with the press back and forth to show the Nazi Party respect and rise for them. And they say, wouldn't you rise for Papandreou and Samaras? And then finally they all do, in fact, rise. And so the Nazi Party leader sits down and starts talking and says, I would like to thank you with all the strength of my Greek heart.
Hopefully it's weak.
The hundreds of thousands of Greeks who voted for the popular nationalistic movement, the Golden Dawn.
Okay, stop for a second. This is important. Nationalist movement is the logical, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? What is the action that is being taken right now? In Europe is the microcosm of it, but there's a bigger version of this coming. Right now, what they're saying is, we're going to take all of the flags away, and you're going to be European Union, because we have to grow it bigger, and so we can fix this if we're all one. And so they're trying to completely now finish the process of erasing European countries and making it all one European government. That's what's happening in Europe. And so the nationalist movement, because remember, they don't have small party. They have communist or national socialist, the Nazis. They both believe in big government. That's the key. That's why the Tea Party is so important. That's why this summer we're having a global Tea Party summit. We have got to help our friends in Europe, because there are a few people that understand small government, but they need a voice. They need our help. And so the National Socialists are coming because they're saying, no, we want socialist stuff. We don't want this austerity program either. We're just like the communists. We're just like everybody else, but we're nationalists. We believe Greeks should answer to Greeks. The counterpart of this globally is what's happening to the United States. It's the George Soros open society of knitting the entire world together. That's why National Socialists will have a chance, because it will be about the United States being the United States again. Trouble. Real trouble.
And of course, this is going to resonate with the Greek people who are having their sovereignty threatened here over this whole thing. So here's a guy telling them, we're going to fight for your sovereignty. And we're going to defend this nation of Greece.
And here's what's happening over there. When we were on the ground, if you didn't see the special that I did from Greece, what was it, a month ago? You can find it on GBTV. Look under specials at gbtv.com. But when we did this special over there, you see it. This is a very proud country. This is a country, obviously, with a ton of history. And it's just their highways were built by Germany. Not a problem. Except Germany is now taking the tax dollars, and it wasn't a problem when things are going well, but it is now. Now the Greeks see these highways as German influence and a hostile takeover. Everything to the Greeks is, why are we doing this with Europe? Why are these Europeans over here? Why are these foreigners in here? What are they doing? We just leave us alone. That's what's happening.
So he's talking to the press, and he says he wants to thank those who turned their backs to the defamation by TV channels and the yellow press. They were against us all this time. They accused us in the worst possible way. Apparently takes longer in Greek to say that. On their TVs, they showed only people who didn't receive half the votes we got. They despise the Greek people, and the Greek people despise them. Speaking of the media here, I want to thank the hundreds of thousands of Greeks who voted for the nationalistic movement Golden Dawn. And I want to denounce one of our greatest accusers, the president of the Conservative Party, Samaras. He spoke about patriotism, whereas he has served for 3 months only in the military army. He was lying before the elections that he would not pursue a coalition government. He immediately changed that afterwards, and now they're planning their joint government.
Hey, stop. What is the significance here? The significance here is if Mitt Romney wins and then goes and plays along with the globe and does more bailouts, is more big government, and betrays the American people, this will be in our future. This is what the Republicans fail to understand. You cannot be a progressive Republican. America is at the end of the progressive movement. There's only going to be one. If you are a Republican and you say, I'm a progressive, understand you're with the other side. When the Republican voter, if you get in and the Republican voter feels betrayed by you, you're done. And I mean done in a big way. The country is done. The country will be split apart. This is what happened here. The voters saw, they voted for a conservative. They said, I'm not going to play ball. I'm not going to do the coalition. I'm going to stand for my principles. At least according to him, he didn't. And so then the Nazi power, the Nazis came up and said, see, they won't protect you. Those conservatives, they won't protect you, but we will. That's what will happen. It's a warning to Mitt Romney. It's a warning to the GOP. And it is a call to action to the Tea Party and the 9/12 Project.
In brief, the junta of the bailout continues. The national resistance of Golden Dawn against the bailout junta will continue too. A lot of wasted words in Greek.
You know what? I gotta tell you,
you know,
they really
takes them way too long to say anything.
And Nazis, you gotta, if you're gonna be a Nazi party, you gotta find somebody who's like mellow.
Yeah.
You gotta find somebody who's just like, hey, look, you know, whatever. I mean, okay,
these guys are all screamers.
We're gonna round up some people and, you know, probably build some gas chambers. But if you say it like that, then it doesn't sound in other languages like you're a Nazi. I mean,
this guy sounds like a Nazi. Both inside and outside the parliament. We will continue the struggle for a Greece liberated from global speculators.
Speculators, that's interesting, because that's the language used of the left here.
Yeah.
This is, of course, going to be portrayed as a right-wing movement.
Who endorsed Occupy Wall Street? The Nazi Party of America endorsed
and
Occupy Wall Street. Right. The communists, they're socialists. They're socialist. That's why they're not for the Tea Party. It's the same language. It's the same message. It's just one is global, one is nationalist.
For a Greece independent and proud. For a Greece without the slavery of the bailout agreement and the surrender of our national sovereignty. For a Greece that will not be a social jungle because of the millions of illegal immigrants they brought into our homeland without asking us.
Stop. Warning. Warning. This is why the border is so important. Because if you don't, this is, you know what this is? This is the beginning of the Bubba movement. They're like, you know what? You guys aren't protecting us. I'd rather go stand with these guys. Did we point out they're Nazis? And as they told me on the ground of Greece, what's the difference? I said, these guys are criminals. And the banks are criminals. The guys on the streets that are torching your streets and burning buildings down are criminals. And so are the banks. Which one's worse? A resident of Greece looked at both of them and pondered for a minute and then shrugged his shoulders and said, what's the difference? when people are desperate, when they see their homeland being destroyed, the nationalist feeling will rise up in them. Warning, that's not necessarily a good thing. Especially if they want. That's why the Tea Party has to be careful on what they're advocating for. When they say, okay, yeah, we want to return to America, but wait a minute, we want our health care, we want all of these things. No. No, you can't. You have to break the mindset that we're in. You can't have a big government because it then leads to the Nazis, and on the other side, it leads to the communists. We must be a third way, not austerity, small government, low expenditures, and low taxes at the same time. More freedom for the people, less control from Washington.